This is Charlie Kelley with TravelMole TV in Madrid at the World Travel and Tourism Council Summit with Dr. Richard Kelley, who's the Chairman Emeritus of Outrigger Enterprises Group. Good morning.
Good morning, Charles.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. We've been friends for a long time.
Yes, it has, and it's been such a pleasure. Your group is one of the largest and fastest growing, anyways, groups for hospitality in the Asia Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, and of course Hawaii areas. What did you do over the last 30 years, or that you've been growing the company to bring it to the state it is today?
Okay. Well, the company was founded by my parents in 1947. And they ran a mom and pop organization. They had apartments, and then after World War II they began to rent the apartments out on a daily basis. And they got some very cheap labor from my sisters and myself. We operated the front desk and operated the towel folding, and had a little laundromat in the back. Put the towels in there, dried them, took care of all those things, served pineapple juice to the tourists. But when I took over the business back in the 60s, I had to change that from a mom and pop organization to something that could compete in the world. And we began to computerize things very early, if not ahead of our time. And we got an awful lot done. And now the next generation is taking it across the Pacific, all the way from Hawaii out to Mauritius and the Maldives, with places like Australia, Guam, and Thailand in between. So it's a fast-growing company, as you described.
Let's go back and take each region at a time. And I'm going to start kind of from the newest, working back to your flagship destination, Hawaii. You have Mauritius, that is opening.
It is opened already.
It is opened already. And tell me about that property.
Well, it's a former Movenpick property, and it had been neglected for a while, and so we have refurbished it and got it going. And then a couple of days ago we had a nasty little flood. There was one of those 100-year floods that came through, wiped out the kitchen for a couple of days, but we're back in business now, and it's a lovely spot. I haven't visited that one myself, but I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Well, I'm surprised you haven't. Then, of course, Phuket. That's fairly recent.
Yeah.
How's that doing?
Phuket is doing very well. We have lovely property there. We operate one for others, and then we have the one on the beach that we own. And we came in, put a lot of money and time and effort into the renovations, and it's really up and running. It's at near capacity most of its time, so we're very pleased with that one.
And then you have the iconic Castaway Island property, which I'd love to visit one of these days.
Well, I'd love to show you around. That is an iconic property, as you say. It's got its own little island, about 15-minute helicopter ride from Nandi Airport, and they have the most wonderful people in the world that are operating that resort, working with us. You know, they have a good portion of the staff that lives on the property, and then they rotate and go back home at the end of the work week to their homes, and we have a new crew that comes in. But they are the most friendly people in the world, and they're skilled, and we have excellent cuisine there and beautiful diving. It's a wonderful place, and I'm looking forward to being there.
I heard about the family program that those wonderful people you're talking about provide for the children of your guests.
Yes, so they have a wonderful program there with the people who are trained in working with younger children, and they do a wonderful job.
And Australia, what's going on there?
Australia, well, that's in a form of change right now. We had a number of properties there, and we recently signed a contract to sell them, and we're going to keep the money in the Australia area, and the South Pacific, and hopefully reinvest into the Australian area. What we would like to do is to trim our spectrum down a little bit to focus really on premier beachfront resorts, and not all these that we sold met that quality, and so we let other people take over that, and we're going to reinvest in the area there. We're looking forward to that.
Okay. And now Hawaii. You've the story you were telling me about your parents, and I missed somewhere along the lines between you mowing the lawn and going to medical school. But now, what's the latest? You must have refurbished those properties.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many times over, and you keep innovating new things. Tell me about some of the new innovations in Hawaii.
The world is changing, and I think we're changing with it. You know, with the electronics, social media, and so forth, we're trying to offer more and more spectrum to our guests. And I think all hoteliers are going through this because you no longer have a cable that comes through the wall and provides you local broadcast cable TV. You now have a choice of a wide variety of things, and people are just trying to determine what is the best thing that guests want. There's going to be experiments one way and experiments another way. But in the meantime, we've got to keep our property refurbished, clean, operating smoothly, and we have a wonderful staff that does that every day, and I love them all.
I recently met some of your marketing team members more by email, and they seem to be a very young, capable, aggressive group. So I imagine you're receiving a lot of direct bookings nowadays through internet, social media, and that type of things.
Yes, the internet is becoming more and more important as far as our bookings, but we still have a great affinity for travel agents, tour wholesalers. We take our business from wherever it comes, and we try to keep all the channels open so we can be there when they are needed.
From 30,000 feet perspective, what would you like to see the Outrigger group look like and to be doing 10 years from now?
Well, I would like to see them continue to grow, prosper, and continue to be a good friend to the environment, a good friend to the communities we work in, and a good friend to the employees that dedicate their lives to work with us.
The Outrigger way.
The Outrigger way. Kianoa.
And you told me the last time we got together, I think maybe with your daughter, you were visiting Vietnam.
Yeah, that was another daughter. That was my daughter, Anne Marie.
And you were visiting there, and now I see that you have announced an opening in Vietnam next year in South Central Coast. Tell me about that.
Well, it's a lovely piece of property, but whether we meet that announcement schedule or not is yet to be determined. But we want to be there, and we've been working at it for a long time. And you know, it's not easy to get an international world-class resort going. But if we open, whether it's 2016, 17, or 18, or 20, we will have something that fits in with that category. First class, world-renowned, and with a beautiful beach and wonderful service. That's our motto.
And Hainan, China, of course, is also announced.
Yeah, Hainan's got a ways to go. There's a lot of things going on in Hainan.
Oh, yes.
And I think that probably Vietnam will come on a little bit soon.
Right. We were in Hainan last year, sitting out there. Well, they're copying a little bit of Hawaii, huh? With the
their advertising looks like very much like Hawaii.
Like Hawaii, and it works. It seems to work.
Well, the interesting thing about Hainan is that it is as many degrees south of the equator as Hawaii is north. So there is a great deal of climatic and environmental similarity, and they are going to be good competitors in the world tourism market. And we hope to be there, definitely. And but we've got some more work to do.
In terms of people in the hospitality industry, you know, who may be reasonably new at it, there are many ways to skin the cat and to be successful in hospitality. What would you suggest to them of how to approach it? For example, you have the Outrigger way, but that may not work for everybody. That worked for Outrigger.
Well, whatever works for the individual company, there's a lot of things that go into deciding how you operate it. It does work for us. And I think, you know, it's amazing that what we are really promoting is hospitality, and it translates across the Pacific and I think around the world. When you really examine what means hospitality, basically it's the same thing. It's being friendly, doing the right thing at the right time, in the right place for the right reason. And this is the way we operate our company, and I think you'll find most of the great companies of the world operating in a similar fashion. But they have different styles and different names for it, but basically it's the same thing. Good common sense.
Dr. Richard Kelley, Outrigger Group, thank you.
Thank you.